All right, Shalawam, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek out there doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. All right, and I just want to get into a quick lesson for the day. This will be a real brief lesson. Just want to, just got like 2 scriptures. I just wanted to speak on pretty much the balance of life, and how the Most High set everything up, and everything that's on the right hand side we know is righteous, and everything that's on the left hand side we know is wicked, but it serves its purpose. So you can truly see beauty in both of the sides, opposing one another, and when you look at it in the spiritual sense, because in the eyes of the Most High, this brings that balance of you having both sides to bring that perfect balance, man, and that brings beauty out of things, when you get to see both sides of the spectrum. All right, so just briefly, this is the book of Sirach 33, and I'm gonna start at verse 13, and it says, "As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best." And that's why you have a diverse amount of people throughout the 4 corners of the earth, and that's why every one person or one individual is not exactly alike. You have some tall, some short, some fat, some skinny, so on and so forth, and you have some that have more abilities than others, and some that can pick up those abilities that this one lacks to bring everything full circle. That's why, like for instance, on the basketball team, you have those different positions. You have the center, you have the small forward, power forward, 2 guard, and the point guard. You know what I'm saying? All to pick up where the other one may lack, or where the other one is not best in skill at, and that brings the balance of things. So to continue on, all right, it says verse 14, "Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against the other." So the way that the Most High purposed things, to have that perfect balance, was to put one thing against another. Because, say for instance, on a pH scale, you have it from 0 to 14. Anything from under 7 is considered acidic, and everything above 7 is considered alkaline, and 7 is considered neutral. But now, just say if you had to take away, the bad side, which is considered the acidic side, and you just had the alkaline side. If you only had this side and everything is just too high, you eating all alkaline foods, everything alkaline, 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 you don't have something that's base or a little bit underneath, then you will see what a person could create, alkalosis within the system. So that will create a false balance that could bring you to death. And then opposite on the other end, too much acidity brings death as well. So that's why you have that perfect balance, and the perfect balance of man, and his body pH is 7.3 to 7.4. The Most High made it within a perfect balance. So you see how the Most High does things. And another great thing that we have to realize, how it said, see, there are 2 and 2, one against another. What you have light, you have darkness, you have good, you have evil, as the scripture said. Well, all of those things, we got to be able to apply this to our everyday life. Knowing this principle that the Most High said, that one thing is against another, you got to be able to see that constantly within your life. So every day we trying to struggle and strive to be our best within the Lord, you're going to always have that opposing force, which is Satan. You can't have no progress without some force of opposition. That's a primary principle of life that the Most High has set up to give us the adversity, to give us those trials and tribulations, to actually make it over something. That's why you have when, rich kids, they grew up, their parents worked hard, but they didn't work hard. So now when they actually get that money, they don't know how to appreciate that, because they only had that one side. So since they didn't have that other side to struggle to get that, they take things for granted. So that's why the Most High allowed us to go through the hardships, through the adversities, and to put us through the constant hell as his perfect design, to allow us the opportunity to appreciate his good works and everything he was doing for us. Because in the times of ancient Israel would just, go off and sin, sacrifice a goat, like everything is correct, go off and sin, sacrifice a goat, go off and sin and sacrifice this, and just playing with the Most High, toying with him. So the Most High had to teach us a much, much stronger lesson, because we wouldn't learn from the original lesson in the first place, man. So, real quick, going to this is the book of Ecclesiastes 7, and I'm going to start at verse verse Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider the work of the Most High, for who can make that straight which He hath made crooked? Right? In this world we live in is the Most High called it what? A crooked and perverse generation, man. You know, that's what this world that we live in is. So who can actually straighten out this world as we know it? Nobody, except for our big brother YAHAWASHI to make his second return. This world is truly in this perfect balance. Esau is in this perfect balance. He's in his pocket. He's doing what he has to do to try to sustain his kingdom and to oppose the righteous kingdom that is to come, and which that belongs unto us and our big brother YAHAWASHI. You know, so within this world we have a lot of people, you know, that's activists and that do this and do that. That's all well and good. You do your little good deeds or whatever, but at the end of the day, the Most High set this world to be as it is, and nobody can set it forth straight, you know, unless He proclaims it. And it's only one man that He proclaimed that to allow that to happen, and that is YAHAWASHI, man. No other man can do that. The Most High said, I will not allow another to take my glory, and He won't, you know. So verse 14, it says, in the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. God has also God also have set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. So the whole point of the matter is that you have the one against the other, so that what it said, that man should find nothing after him, because there's nothing before the Most High, there's nothing after the Most High. People keep searching for so many different things that's above the supreme power. Like, how can you search anything that's above the supreme power that He didn't place for us to see, or that He didn't give us as an illusion for people to get diluted in their different philosophies, man? And also with Esau playing a big hand in that too, to put those false philosophies and different things out there to constantly confuse the masses of the people, and they're believing in these false gods, these idols, and all these different spiritual groups and different things that people want to be in. The Most High purposely set this up, man. Well, that's why it says in 2 Thessalonians that for this cause the Most High shall give them over to strong delusion, man. So the majority of these people in this world had that strong delusion, and they don't see the perfect balance that the Most High has set up, that you have to have one and the other, man. It has to be that way, or else you can't create a balance, man. Let me just read that one more time. In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. And that's another big thing that we got to realize within our everyday life as well, and which brothers already know. You know, you go through the ups, you go through the downs, but at the times in which you up, you may be doing a little whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You might be got a raise on your job or something. You got a little extra money. You might do a little this, a little that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know, we still allowed to have a decent time, you know, within this world, but within the guidelines of being in this truth. You know, mainly, you know, well, for me, I speak for me personally, the only thing I really do is what, get up with the brothers or watch some sports or, you know, something like that. You know, we stay within the confines and not tapping into the world ways of so-called joy or enjoying yourself, you know, but we do everyday common things. But while you're doing that, you know, you should still be admonishing yourself mentally to know that you can fall on, you know, the other end of the spectrum, and to not get too much in that joyous state to where you actually start enjoying this world too much. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you keep that level head at all times. And also it applies to you know, apply to financial situations, situations within the brotherhood, so on and so forth. It's going to be good, it's going to be bad. Sometimes you might be going through something with a brother, and then other times things will be peace. That's just a part of it, you know. It's a part of brotherhood and things that you got to get over, you know. I'll read that one more time. In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. So when the adversity comes and we face adversity on a regular basis, that's when we really got to consider, you know, the times in which that we can the times in which we get back up and the times in which we fall. But especially when you doing bad, that's when you really thinking like, damn, how I'm going to plan this out. I got to be careful. I got to make sure I do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do that. But when people are prospering, you don't plan things out like that. You know, You got to always try to keep a balanced scale on both sides. You know, it's easier to deal on the bottom than it is when you got something, because a lot of the times, you know, that little pride kick in your head, that little extra self, or you maybe feeling yourself or something like that. That's why Jake can't keep nothing within their pockets, man, because Jake can start feeling himself and then get out of pocket and then forget, you know, those times that he had in adversity. So in adversity, that's more so when you consider, and that's why the Most High wants to have us constantly at the bottom. He'll give us the highs, but we'll be brought right back down so that we can remain at the bottom, stay humble, stay lowly, and that we can always consider Him and His works and everything that He does for us on a day-to-day basis, man. You know, so you know, with that, I hope this ain't about to time out on me. So with that, you know, I hope this segment was edifying. You know, just about the balance of life and how the Most High proposed everything. And we know every day what we're the so-called good, right? We're Israelites. You know, we the good of the earth. The Most High set us up with the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, to till the land and to take care of the earth. You know, to be the rulers of the earth, to take care of the earth, to take care of our home where we got to eat, sleep, and crap at, man. But Esau, you got him being a destroyer. That's like the pig, the filth and the scum of the earth, man. It's that perfect balance, the good guy and the bad guy of the movie, man. You know, it has to be that way. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to see the joy out of all of that, man. It's a bittersweet suffering, as I like to call it, man. You know, because just for the feeling of at times when you're down, you really can appreciate everything that the Most High is putting us through, because it gives us more integrity and it grounds us that much more within this truth and within this faith, man. You know. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam select out there doing this work of faith and labor, love, and true sincerity. Shalawam.